Welcome to Optimize Her 2, the podcast on YouTube. This is episode 12, February 3rd, 2026, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight, you are going to listen to a really interesting, unusual topic here that I think a lot of us have not even given consideration. I'm learning about it myself. But as myself, Barbara Evering-Rose, I'm the founder of Wow Women Optimizing Women. You can view my website at wowwomenus.com. And my co-creator, who is LaQuincia Nichols, she is founder of experiencecoaching.com. So we are here tonight with Tina Miller of Action for Kindness. And Tina is going to talk about an interesting conversation, one that I think a lot of us will kind of shake our head a little bit about because it's energy and fabrics. I thank you all for joining us. This is amazing. This is our 12th episode, as I mentioned here. Something that we didn't even think that we were going to be able to do. Podcasting, we were told, is so hard to do, and it is. It's not all that easy. But we have found with an audience like you all coming to see us on the first and third Tuesday of each month, well, you've made it that much easier for us, and we're thoroughly enjoying this opportunity. Get ready for a 30 to 45-minute action-packed podcast with Tina Miller, myself, and LaQuincia Nichols. And I just wanted to tell you, I feel like it's important to note that this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute professional, legal, financial, or medical advice. Even though we are professionals and we also have a lot of experience, always consult a qualified professional for personalized professional guidance. Absolutely. So I say that I'm going to introduce LaQuincia Nichols. Hey, Quincy, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well, Barbara. It's a great day here out in Arizona, and I'm just really excited for the conversation that Tina's going to bring to our audience today. So just, hey, everyone, just welcome back, and I'm glad to be here.
Nice. And Tina Miller is the executive director of a local nonprofit in Maryland, which is also where I reside. And I think all of us understand that a little kindness goes a long way. So we can't wait to hear more about that and also her energy. But kindness is in need of your kindness today. Is that what it says?
Yes.
That is a very interesting twist, and I have to really think about that. You're going to have to expand on that. But go ahead, Quincy, introduce her. I had to do a second take on that.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn a little bit more about that because I am an advocate of maybe not so much being a nice girl, but always leading with kindness. So I'm excited to bring Tina to our conversation today. Her world is all about fostering a culture of compassion and well-being through meaningful connections and tangible reminders. And they facilitate and fund activities that teach and promote kindness through words, art, and related activities to create that world. So here's the thing. The first person that we think you should be kind to is yourself each and every day. Tina, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much. We are really happy to have you and excited for how you are going to help us learn and navigate this conversation around kindness.
And also, I have to ask this question, Tina, because I never thought we'd be discussing clothes and energy. And not only should your clothes look good, but they also should give you positive energy. Is that what you're saying you're going to talk about this evening?
Yes, that clothes have a frequency that influences you.
Wow.
Have a frequency, much like the radio or our TV. Is that what you're saying?
That's a way to think about it because everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, including our clothes. So just in the same way that the food you eat is energy and what you eat influences how you feel, it's the same with our clothes.
I'm excited for this conversation because I really need to understand, the knowledge about the energy in the fabric. How did all of this come about for you?
Well, for me, it was the research that I was doing as I was becoming a sound healer and the understanding of frequencies when it comes to the energetic centers of the body, the chakras, and the chi Chinese centers, meridians. As I was doing all of that research, I was learning more and more about how frequency influences you and that everything vibrates at a certain frequency, including our bodies, including our clothes. So it started making sense to me that if I am taking a look at the ingredients of the food that I'm going to put in my body, why am I not taking a look at the ingredients of the clothes that I'm putting on my body? And it just
Oh.
clicked for me.
Mhm. The moment you said it like that, I'm like, "Yeah, I could possibly do a whole lot better in terms of the types of fabrics
Mhm.
I'm thinking about."
Like, the highest frequency fabric, what would that look like?
That would be linen. Linen
Ooh.
and wool are both the highest frequency fabrics that we have. They're both at a frequency of approximately 5,000 hertz. And to give you an idea, your body averages around 100 hertz. And so anything that you're putting on your body that is above that helps will help your body. Your aura is the frequency body around your physical body, and anything that you put on your body is going to influence it. So the higher the vibration of the fabric, the higher it brings your frequency up. So
The
if your body's averaging around 100 and you're wearing 5,000, that's
yeah,
gonna help you feel better. Where just the converse is true as well. Plastics are at 0 to 7 megahertz, and that's
Mm.
yeah, and when you, take a look at how the, body itself, processes energy, that it we start and when we start to, go through the death process, we dive down into about a 25 megahertz frequency. So, plastics are even below that, and
oh,
if you're
Wow.
goodness.
wearing plastics around you all day, it's going to drag you down.
Plastics like polyester, I've noticed that
Mhm.
some of the fabrics, when I read them on the labels, when I'm trying to choose things for myself, Tina, I get really confused on what I should be purchasing because some of these things, these labels are things I've never even heard about.
Mhm, yes, and a lot of the way the plastics are processed, they're deceptively soft too and light.
Yes.
So you are correct, plastics are named many things, including rayon, spandex, um, gosh, there's a couple of nylon,
Mhm.
they're all plastics. They're all made of plastic.
Do they end with "ene"? Is that a way that we could look at them too? You know, that when you see chemicals, I think of "enes,"
Yes.
E-N-Es,
Yeah.
you know?
I hear you, but they don't usually put it on the label that way.
Oh,
Mhm.
So what you're looking for, and I'm grateful that it's been added to the fabric label, the percentage of
Yeah.
fabric that has been used to create that piece of clothing. So if you go randomly into your closet or one of your drawers and you pull out a piece of clothing, say a sweater, you can look and it'll tell you it's 65% rayon,
right.
35%
The
spandex,
blend.
what have you.
Mhm.
And
It's a
if you don't
blend.
have the words organic or cotton or linen or wool or even potentially hemp or bamboo, then it's definitely plastic.
You know,
That
that's interesting. I was trying to order some sheets back in December. I
Uh-huh.
don't know what it is, but my husband is so hard on our sheets. They're always getting torn or shredded to smithereens. And I started looking up what kind of sheets should I be buying. And there's so many different blends out there, but also different types of cotton. And
Mhm.
I was looking for something maybe that of a hotel quality. So, what about what you lay on at night? Should you also be thinking about that in terms of what you're laying on for 8 hours?
Yes, absolutely. That's very, very important. As a matter of fact, hospitals used to use nothing but linens because
Hmm.
of the high frequency of the fabric to help you heal and repair, which is what rest is supposed to help you do. So it's very important to choose linens that are cotton, 100% organic cotton is even better, or linen or
Mhm.
wool. And and there are parts of the bedding industry that now include grounding sheets which take silver filaments and weave it throughout the sheet so that you can ground the sheet itself with the outside ground through the grounding system of your house. So, because the energy and the frequency coming from the bare ground
Mhm.
has influence over you, and the fact that we've detached ourselves from that by wearing shoes and not sleeping on the ground has also influenced our health and our frequency. So, when it comes to bedding, you definitely want to, if you can, go cotton or above, cotton, linen, wool. And if you want to dive a little bit more into the understanding of how grounding helps you, I recommend that you look into getting some grounding sheets as well.
I heard about copper and I see commercials or ads for copper, like copper in your socks, copper
Mhm.
for wraps around your, elbow that's sore, copper in shirts and other clothing. So you mentioned silver, and then there's copper that they're actually putting in fabric, which is very interesting.
Mhm. All of the
Yeah.
metals have a specific frequency, and the majority of them are healthy for you in
Hmm.
everything in moderation, of course. Um,
Right.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I
We don't
I
want
would
to go ahead. I'm sorry, Quincy.
yeah, I was just gonna say really love this conversation because I feel as though we are in this place of, I would say, especially here, maybe in the US, dealing with a lot of overconsumption, right? And a lot of that comes from some of these fast fashion houses to where, you can get 100 pieces of clothes for what feels like 50 cents at a time, right? And so
Hmm.
when you have a family that's trying to balance, clothing, budget, all these different things, I would just be really curious is what are some, and if you have some tools or recommendations on how do you slowly sort of wean yourself off of the fast fashion and bring yourself back to some of these more natural vibration generating, higher vibration generating fabrics?
Excellent question. I'm going through that process myself. And where I started was by going through all of my sweaters, for instance, and
Okay.
looking at the label and saying, okay, which ones are 100% cotton? Or do I have
Mhm.
any linen in my, in my closet whatsoever? And, and then how much of it is like spandex and
Yeah.
or 100% plastic of some sort, rayon, nylon, what have you, and separating it into 2 piles, actually 3 piles. So the first set of piles is, yes, cotton, at least 50% or more cotton.
Okay.
Get at least start gotta start there. And then, the all plastic rayon. And then for the all plastic rayon pile, what can I live without? What I haven't I really worn much, and maybe it's because of the way it was making me feel, and I was
Hmm.
unconscious to that at the time. And
Mm.
what do I really, really like? Like I've worn this sweater multiple times because it goes with so many different things. That goes into a third pile. That third pile is I want to find a cotton equivalent. So that's when I'll start going to the store and going, okay, I want to replace this one piece of clothing, this one black and white sweater that goes with everything. And I want to get a cotton or a linen alternative to that, or a wool alternative to that, so I can get rid of it, but still have that piece for my, wardrobe. And that's where I've started. And
I like that.
it's going to be a process, but
Mhm.
every time you pick up something to put on your body, see if you can't categorize it and see if you can replace it if it's not organic cotton
Yeah.
or wool or linen.
I think we're all
Definitely.
starting to look at labels more, aren't you, ladies? I know I am
Absolutely.
too.
Me
I
too.
am
I think
too.
also the ones to where they don't even put what the material is on the label, right? Sometimes it just has a size, and you're left with this sort of mystery of wondering what actually am I putting on my body, and you have no clue.
Right,
I
and
learned.
that happens a lot, especially when you're going to secondhand stores. Like, I love to do
Mhm.
secondhand stores. Try to, make sure that I'm part of the recycle economy, and in that instance, a lot of times it's hard to find the label that says it is, what it's made out of,
Yeah.
and honestly, if I don't absolutely love it and feel like I know it's cotton or linen, I won't buy it. I
Yeah.
I
Good
I
for
got I
you.
have to start somewhere, and that starting that somewhere is saying no to the things that are made of plastic.
Well, listen, if you
I
spend any time on this podcast, you know I love drawing a boundary. So to me, that's just a boundary, right? That's an expectation that you've set for yourself and your buying habits. So I love it.
I learned while we were in Peru in June of last year, for instance, that they sell a lot of alpaca products.
Yeah.
And baby alpaca is something that the ladies talked to me about. And I bought a baby alpaca sweater. And one of the things they taught me is if you touch alpaca, it's always cool. You talked about the chakras and also, with crystals, you can tell a crystal because it's cool. Same thing with alpaca. Do you girls know if wool is also cool like alpaca? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I believe that it is. Let's take a look.
Mhm.
I do have a chart here that helps me with that, and it says the different attributes of, like, linen, wool, hemp, silk, cotton.
Mhm.
And wool, it says for wool, it's naturally insulating, but yet breathable,
Mhm.
antimicrobial and odor resistant, excellent for temperature regulation, and energetically, it's warming and protective, and it vibrates at 5,000 megahertz.
Wow.
That's interesting that it does that. When you think of wool, when I think of wool, I think of something that's cozy. I think of something that's warm. I think of
Mhm.
something that's hot. But then there's different, I think, thicknesses of wool as well.
Mhm.
Like
Correct.
summer weight, for instance, winter weight, etc. And I think those are the things that we need to be cognizant of. Well, educating ourselves. That's what we're here to do: educate,
Absolutely.
elevate, and empower. Hero and optimize her too. So sick clothing. So you talked about things that maybe make you not feel so good. When you're sick, what would you recommend that you wrap yourself in, or, get some slippers? I know even finding cotton slippers. I tried to find cotton slippers. It's hard to find those.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, linen and wool is your best bet when you're sick because it's at the 5,000 megahertz, and that's why hospitals have used linen. The vibrational frequency of linen and the attributes include being breathable and moisture wicking,
Hmm.
that it's cooling and it's ideal for hot climates or if you're feeling hot. It's also antibacterial and hyperallergenic. It promotes calm and reduces static energy, and it, has high, spiritual and grounding properties.
Hmm.
So when you're not feeling well, if you can get some linen and wrap
Mhm.
yourself in linen, or wool to keep you warm, that's the best way to go if you can. I know, when it comes to footwear, that tends to be a challenge. I have yet to see any footwear that is, 100%, bamboo, hemp, cotton, what have you. But,
Mhm.
so the challenge is there. Let's see what we can, come up with other than walking around barefoot,
I
which
Yeah.
is
remember
very
my
good
son
for you
used to
for
buy
your
wool
grounding.
shoes, like wool sneakers all the time.
Mhm.
He loved his wool sneakers and he had all different colors. So fabric is something that you can get vibrations from. Fabrics, do you think that changing your fabrics can also maybe help you with your decisions?
Yes, I believe
Maybe
so.
helping your mind?
Yes, I believe so because when it comes to, your energy centers in your body, from the chakra system, your thoughts influence the way that your body responds and your energy. And so if your thoughts can do that, and that radiates out throughout your aura, um, then most certainly, that can be affected.
And I'm thinking it can influence your choices too.
It does
So,
influence
you can make
choices.
better choices.
Hmm.
Just feeling better all the way around. I think all of us are looking for things to help us feel better. Quincy, we've talked about foods and so forth. You mentioned foods
Yeah.
again, and sleeping, making sure that we are comfortable at night and we have better fabrics that are around us. On As you've gone through life and you've realized, Tina, at some point, the energy level or your energy level was affected by fabric. When did you realize that you needed to spread the word? I heard that you did a speech on this to a group in our local community. When did you figure all this out?
Yes, I was a part of the Ignite speakers series, and Ignite is it's like an amateur TED talk that goes around the country, and a local tech company hosted our Ignite evening where believe there were 10 or 11 speakers. And I
Hmm.
spoke about sick clothing, where clothing that is made of plastic and can literally make you sick, make you feel
Mm.
sick, or sick clothing as in, the new fashion. It's so sick. It's so cool. It's so hip,
Yeah.
you know? So the play on the word is you should not wear sick clothing. You should wear sick clothing.
I like it.
And so when I was doing my research for that Ignite talk, that's when I really dove into it. I had learned in my studies about frequency and the chakras and the not only the healing frequencies of chakras, but then how everything has a frequency and
Hmm.
how all that influences each other. And then I dove into the clothing and I went, wow, more people need to know about this. Um, so I was excited, and I'm still excited because I'm still learning more about the way everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, and how it all connects in some way.
So I
So I
like that. Oh, go ahead, Barb.
That's okay. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with your energy level as you're learning about this frequency? Would you say that it has improved? Are you still midway? Where are you with your energy level?
Well, other than catching the seasonal flu, my energy level is really good. Uh, as I've been learning about food and how it makes you feel, of course, you know how food makes you feel when almost
Sure.
as soon as you eat it.
Hmm.
But being able to change my habit to make sure that I'm consuming healthier and healthier food, even though I like my fries and chocolate occasionally.
Don't
It's
we all
this.
like it.
Yeah, it's the same with, grounding, using the grounding sheets at night that mine are 100% cotton, and they have the grounding component to it. Within 2 days, 2 nights of me using that, a lot of my aches went away. I was
Mm.
amazed, that that happened, and also, once I started my piles of clothes that are 50% or more cotton and others that are not, the feeling of I am wearing something that is light and breathable,
Mhm.
it was like a breath of fresh air. I could tell and as soon as I put something on now, if I haven't checked the label, it's like, "Oh, look, I found this sweater in the closet, in the back of the closet." And I put it on, and I can tell right away whether it's breathable or not, whether it's plastic or not. You'll get used to it once you understand
Yeah.
what you're putting on your body and
Mhm.
paying attention to how it makes you feel. It's very enlightening. It's very cool.
I think
Oh, I
it's
love
just
it.
as you start to, maybe in different areas, if you are able to like switch some ingredients of food to organic or buying better quality products as you just become more informed, your tolerance for what used to be okay it doesn't work the same because you have elevated your vibration and those things just don't feel good to you anymore. I can think of some of the things that I used to either eat or even some materials that I've already become aware aren't as good as other types of materials that I would wear. Like if I buy sweater A versus sweater B, and I'm like, oh, sweater A feels so much better. I can just tell it's a better quality. And sometimes that isn't even regulated to the price point because it's just sometimes about where you're shopping and getting these goods. So, Tina, let me ask you a question. What does the way you dress reveal about you?
The way you dress reveals not only your fashion sense or not, but it
Yeah.
also reveals where you are energetically wise in understanding not only your own energy, but other energies around you. And that is something that can take time to learn. A lot of people are stuck in energy cycles that they might not even be aware of. That makes them energy deaf, if you will. I
Mm.
heard a term the other day that from a nurse who said she's a traveling nurse and she goes into people's homes and she has a special spray for going into a home of people who are nose deaf, meaning they can't smell, so they don't know how they smell or their surroundings smell. It's the
Hmm.
same thing with your ability to manage and understand your own energy and frequency and that of what's around you. A lot of people will get stuck, and so there should be no judgment whatsoever.
Right.
People are going to wear what makes them feel appropriate in the moment, and if that is
Mhm.
psychological because they want to try to fit into a scenario, or
Hmm.
if that's because they're aware of their energy and they're going to wear what's appropriate to them at that time, regardless of their surroundings. It all depends. And I'm hopefully helping to raise the awareness to people that there are times when you need to pay attention to your energies because you might not have been in the past.
I think you're doing a great job at creating that raised awareness.
That's very interesting because a lot of these things we know that our environment affects us. We know, for instance, the sunlight affects us. We know that nutrition affects us. One of the things that we really weren't cognizant of, which I really wasn't aware of, was the clothing itself, how it can affect you. Sure, I know if I felt good in what I was wearing or it made me look good, particularly a color, that I notice,
Mhm.
but certainly not the frequency. Although I did know that I felt better with cotton sheets than
Mhm.
polyester sheets. I thought they were staticky. I didn't like the way they make me feel. My head, I'd wake up, my head would be flying up in the air.
Yeah.
So that I did know. I just never saw the correlation between the two. And it was interesting when the lady in Peru mentioned about the cooler feel to the natural fabrics. I never really gave that a thought, but I thought it's kind of like a stone, like crystals. It all
Mhm.
makes sense. It really
Mhm.
does. I think making awareness, you talked about the silver thread, and I we've heard of the copper threads or infusion of metals into fabric. That's something new, isn't it?
Mhm. Yes, it is fairly new. There was a study done by a gentleman who had taken copper and put a copper twine into the ground and then ran the copper into his bedroom to attach it to a mat that he had created of copper to try to experiment with the grounding. And that's how the recognition of grounding started in our modern era. Of course, a lot of times, a lot of this is all going back to, well, what did we do before the Industrial Revolution?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Why were we not so sick? There are some things that would happen even though the life expectancy was lower,
Sure.
but there were a lot of things that were happening that were right, that were good for our bodies, good for our minds, good for our souls, because we were more connected to the earth and eating, food that was more connected to the earth, and things of that nature. And grounding is one of them. Being able to get out, as you said, in the sunshine, breathe fresh air, and touch the ground.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it reminds me of when you hear people, they may say it as a sort of a flippant comment to you sometimes and tell you, "Oh, go touch ground," right? But oftentimes, you need to go outside and like get the sun, touch the ground, let your bare feet touch the pavement, stand in some grass if you can,
And
All
this
those things
Yes,
help.
and the science has shown that, hugging a tree, they joke about tree huggers, but
Right.
it's been proven that if you hug a tree, the ion, give off, the ion exchange is immediate and to the wellness of your body.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'll have to say that to my golf buddies when we go out. I always tease them as tree huggers every time they hit their golf ball out into the trees. I say, "You must be a tree hugger
Tell
there.
them
You like those
they
trees."
if they wanna get
So
lucky, they need to touch the trees too.
I
Yeah.
yes, I'll tell them, "Make sure you hug the tree, find your golf ball, and then hug the tree, and then come back and
Come
let's
on
go."
back. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So, one action I always look at, it's always small steps, no matter what you're doing to change your life. You can't go and completely change, overhaul your pantry. You'd be wasting all that money if you did that. But what's one action could someone do today, Tina, in changing their wardrobe? Because that's in essence what you're suggesting here is
Mhm.
if you want to feel better, if you want a higher frequency, higher energy, then you need to seriously look at the content in your fabrics, in your closet, in your drawers, what you're sleeping on at night. What is one thing that they could do today to start moving in that right direction?
Is to start looking at the labels on the clothes as they go to put them on. That's the start. When you're eating something, the sieve point, the point where you can start or stop, is when you go to put it in your mouth. So, okay, what am I putting in my mouth? Same
Mhm.
with your body. The start stop point is, am I going to put it on my body? What is it? So, taking a look at, okay, I have 3 sweaters I could possibly wear. Which one? Let me look at all the labels, and which one might have 50% cotton or more,
Yeah.
hopefully 100% cotton. That's the one I should choose. And okay, so I'm going to be wearing my 100% cotton blue sweater for the next week or two because the other two are 100% polyester. I'm going to put them in the recycle bin and make a note that those are the two I want to replace. So
Mhm.
next time I go shopping, I want to go get a white sweater that's 100% cotton because I'm going to replace the plastic one. Start as simple as that, and then the more you do it, the more you'll be aware of what you're putting on your body, and that, oh, now I want to, go get a pair of pants that are not nylon but that are breathable linen or cotton, and
Yeah,
then you can slowly, because everything is a process, everything is an evolution, so you can slowly start changing up the clothing that you have, in your drawers and in your closet, and give them away. There are people who are gonna be, unaware but
Mhm.
still need clothing. Um,
sure.
so unless they're absolutely, in horrible condition,
Right.
um,
Pass them forward, as my mom used to always say,
yeah,
pass the clothes
pass them
forward to someone
forward,
else. Mhm.
and in the hopes that they will somehow get through the recycle economy and do
I
And
some
love
good.
eventually,
that.
maybe we'll have more of a blend all in what we're wearing so that gradually we can then turn that over into a more organic style of clothing. So,
Correct.
Tina, I thank you so much for sharing this knowledge about fabric because like I said, I really didn't realize that. I knew about the sheets and the staticky part, and that always bothered me when I was younger. My mother kept putting those silly Barbie doll sheets on my bed and my hair stood up all the time. But I didn't understand how it all
The
connected.
connection,
So
yeah.
this was very informative, and I think this was, very helpful to our viewers as well. And if you want them to come and see you or to connect with you, either to
Mhm.
learn more about your kindness and what you're doing with Be Kind, and also teaching people about that, and connect with you, contact you on clothing, either or, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Oh, thank you for asking. There's a couple ways. We just launched a new brand based on frequency called positivethings.net. And on the clothing for your body section of the website, the first line of clothing that we have up is 100% cotton clothing, with a tag of your vibe attracts your tribe.
Oh,
So you can go to positivethings.net. There's also a contact us section there. I also have a calendar of events that I'll be adding when I'm teaching yoga or doing Reiki, and that will be found on bekindsign.com, as well as some other clothing that's available through that brand.
You're a
that's
busy lady,
exciting.
girl.
Yeah.
You are busy.
Well, she's at the right vibration, right? She has
Yeah.
the vibration for this. I also thank you so much for sharing this information with Barb and myself, but also the extended audience that will always be able to refer back to this, because we really do believe that, knowledge builds confidence within us. And I love the tips of just starting small with one thing, and when no one's saying go and trash your entire wardrobe or,
Heck
all of
no.
your things. Just go piece by piece. And I think that will also get us back to intentional shopping, just rather than sort of putting everything in our cart sort of mindlessly. I like the one in, one out was the approach we had when I was younger.
Yes.
Well, thank you all, viewers, for coming to see us here at Optimize Her Too. This podcast has been an amazing journey for us. We're just beginning, and we want you to go to Optimize Her Too on YouTube. And we'd like for you to share, like, and subscribe. Please, please, please come back the first and third Tuesdays of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, Tina Miller, you're amazing. I love all the things that you're doing. It's great to hear from you and educate us as well as our viewers. Quincy, always a pleasure having you with us. And we look forward to our next Optimize Her Too. Stay well.